In 2025, paleontologists in Patagonia uncovered a fossil that stunned the scientific world, the partial skeleton of a megaraptorid dinosaur locked in a moment of brutal reality. Between its teeth was a piece of bone, later identified as the leg of a prehistoric crocodile. This was no coincidence or feeding ground. This was a snapshot in time. The remains of a hunter caught mid-meal, the dinosaur, named Joaquinraptor casali, was not just another predator. It was a story frozen at the climax of the hunt. Megaraptors were among South America's most formidable Cretaceous carnivores, their arms armed with claws nearly a foot long. Yet, despite their power, this one met a sudden, violent end while feeding. How did a top predator die in the act of eating? And what does this fossil reveal about the savage, unpredictable world of the late Cretaceous? The fossil was found in Argentina's Rio Negro province, a region long known for its megaraptorid dinosaurs. The discovery was led by paleontologist Dr. Rolando Casali, who described the find as a prehistoric crime scene. Embedded in the sediment around the predator's jaws were fragments of another animal's bones, one identified as a crocodiliform limb. Unlike stomach content fossils, this wasn't internal digestion evidence. It was literal entrapment, the predator's death pose. The team hypothesizes that Joaquinraptor may have been scavenging near a riverbank when a sudden collapse or mudslide buried both hunter and prey in seconds. For the first time, scientists had direct evidence of a megaraptor interacting with its prey at the moment of death. It's an extraordinary level of detail rarely preserved, allowing researchers to reconstruct not just anatomy, but behavior. Megaraptors were not true raptors like Velociraptor, but large theropods with a unique mix of traits. They lived in South America between 90 and 70 million years ago and could reach lengths of up to 8 meters, 26 feet. Their most striking feature was their massive hand claws, nearly 30 centimeters long, which they used to slash and grip rather than kill outright. Their skulls were slender, with serrated teeth suited for slicing flesh rather than crushing bone. Unlike Tyrannosaurus rex, which relied on jaw power, megaraptors were more like deadly wrestlers, using agility, reach, and coordination to subdue prey. Recent studies suggest they may have been fast runners with lightweight bones and powerful arms. Joaquinraptor, though smaller than some relatives, embodied this efficiency, a sleek, dynamic predator built not for brute force, but for precision strikes. The victim found in Joaquinraptor's jaws belonged to a species of Mesoeucrocodilian, a distant ancestor of modern crocodiles that shared the same rivers and lakes. During the Cretaceous, these crocodilians were not passive swamp dwellers. They were agile, semi-terrestrial hunters capable of ambush attacks and bursts of speed. Fossil evidence shows some reached 4 meters long and hunted small dinosaurs, fish, and turtles. But in this case, the roles were reversed. The bone trapped in Joaquinraptor's mouth, part of a crocodilian's hind limb, suggests the predator had either just killed or scavenged the carcass. The limb's surface showed no weathering or scavenger marks, meaning the meal was fresh. The discovery provides the first direct evidence of a megaraptor preying on crocodilians, expanding our understanding of their diet. Even apex predators weren't safe from each other in this Cretaceous ecosystem. How could a skilled hunter die mid-bite? The answer may lie in the sediment. The Joaquinraptor fossil was preserved in fine-grained mudstone, typical of sudden flood deposits. Geological evidence suggests a flash flood or collapsing riverbank may have struck just as the animal was feeding. Trapped in liquefied sediment, the predator likely suffocated within minutes, its jaws still locked around the crocodile's leg. rapid burial prevented scavengers and decay, fossilizing a moment of motion. It's a story told not in words, but in position, the twisted torso, the open mouth, the embedded prey. Similar death snapshots are incredibly rare, only a handful, like the fighting dinosaurs of Mongolia. Capture such immediacy for paleontologists? Joaquinraptor is not just a fossil, it's a time capsule of violence, hunger, and the brutal unpredictability of prehistoric life. Every part of Joaquinraptor's body was built for speed and precision. Its long arms, flexible shoulders, and curved claws made it an exceptional grappler. The claws themselves, forged from keratin over bone cores, could slice through flesh like hooks. Its skull was narrow, with forward-facing eyes for depth perception, ideal for targeting moving prey. Lightly built leg bones and elongated metatarsals suggest it could sprint fast enough to chase mid-sized dinosaurs or aquatic prey near the shore. CT scans of its claws showed dense muscle attachments, proving these weren't passive tools, they were weapons used with strength and control. Its skeleton bridges a gap between allosaur-like ancestors and later tyrannosaurid hunters, showing an evolutionary path toward specialized arm-based predation. Joaquinraptor wasn't just another killer. It was a fine-tuned machine of motion and precision, an apex predator defined not by mass, but mastery. How deadly were those claws? Really, biomechanical modeling gives us a chilling picture. Each main claw could exert a pulling force of around 400 newtons, roughly the grip strength of a large cat. Combined with flexible shoulders and rotating wrists, Joaquinraptor could reach forward, hook into prey, and pull it closer with shocking precision. Its hunting technique may have resembled an eagle's ambush sprint. Leap, hook, then tear, instead of crushing like Rex. Megaraptors preferred a slash and retreat tactic, inflicting deep wounds to weaken prey before finishing the job. The claw's curvature and bone wear suggest repeated impacts, not random slashing. It's even possible Joaquinraptor hunted near water, using reflection to locate movement like herons today, fast, intelligent, and opportunistic. This dinosaur was less a brute force predator and more a thinking assassin of the Cretaceous plains. For decades, paleontologists debated where megaraptors fit in the dinosaur family tree. Early finds suggested they were giant dromaeosaurs, supersized relatives of Velociraptor. Later studies connected them to Allosaurus, or even early Tyrannosaurus relatives. Joaquinraptor has helped clarify the puzzle. The structure of its arms and claws resembles both groups, but leans toward a unique lineage within the Coelurosauria, meaning they were closer to advanced theropods like Tyrannosaurus and Ornithomimus than to true raptors. This hybrid anatomy explains their unusual proportions, graceful yet lethal. The discovery of Joaquinraptor adds new data, confirming that megaraptors were apex predators occupying the top ecological niche before the arrival of tyrannosaurs in the Northern Hemisphere. In South America, they were the kings, and sometimes, as this fossil shows, even kings fall. The region where Joaquinraptor was found was once part of a warm, flood-prone delta teeming with life. The environment supported a complex food web giant, sauropods grazing on ferns, small ornithopods darting between tree ferns, crocodilians lurking in shallows, and flying pterosaurs overhead. Each flood reshaped the land, creating new traps for animals and preserving their remains in layers of silt. Plant fossils found near the Joaquinraptor specimen reveal lush vegetation and stable riverbanks perfect for ambush predators. The coexistence of megaraptors and crocodilians shows an ecosystem balanced on constant tension. Survival meant being both predator and potential prey. These fossil beds are not just bones, they're diaries of landscapes in motion, each layer a page of a story 90 million years old. Patagonia during the late Cretaceous was one of Earth's most dynamic ecosystems. Fossil pollen and charcoal indicate periodic wildfires, followed by bursts of vegetation, a cycle that constantly reset the balance. At the base of this food web grew ferns, cycads, and horsetails. Above them thrived small herbivorous dinosaurs and crocodilians competing for shoreline territory. Joaquinraptor stood at the apex, sharing its kingdom with other megaraptors and abelisaurids. Evidence from bite marks shows circular scars on young crocodile-formed bones, possibly from juvenile Joaquinraptors, while tooth impressions on small ornithopods match megaraptor dentition. These finds prove the ecosystem wasn't static. It pulsed with interaction. In Patagonia's floodplains, even apex predators had rivals, and each creature from insects to giants played a role in the ancient chain of survival. What does Joaquinraptor teach us? First, that even apex predators live dangerously. A single moment of distraction, a slip on mud, a collapsing bank, or an aggressive prey could mean instant death. Second, that the fossil record can preserve behavior, not just anatomy. The fact that scientists can identify prey in a predator's jaws tells us not only what it ate, but how it lived. It also highlights a deeper truth about evolution. Specialization brings both success and risk. Megaraptors ruled their ecosystems with grace and violence, but they were still vulnerable to chance. This fossil reminds us that power doesn't guarantee survival, only adaptability does. In the end, Joaquinraptor's final act became its legacy, a silent warning written in stone: every predator has its moment to fall. Today, Joaquinraptor casali stands as one of the most extraordinary fossils of the decade, a portrait of life and death frozen together. Its story bridges biology and tragedy, a hunter mid-meal, its dominance undone by the Earth itself. For paleontologists, it's a once-in-a-lifetime glimpse into the behavior of megaraptors, proof that fossils can record not just death, but moments of living action. For us, it's a reminder that every creature, no matter how powerful, is bound by nature's unpredictability. Joaquinraptor's tale is not only about hunting, it's about the fragility of life, the violence of survival, and the poetry of time capturing motion forever. In that muddy riverbank 90 million years ago, time didn't just bury a dinosaur, it immortalized a story. The hunter died with its prey, and the earth kept their struggle as its masterpiece. The Joaquinraptor fossil is a triumph of preservation, but also a reminder of absence. Fossils record structure, not sensation, position, not pulse. We can see jaws locked around a crocodile's leg, but we cannot hear the splash, the struggle, or the silence that followed. For every specimen like this, millions vanished without trace. Fossils capture milliseconds of behavior, like the fighting dinosaurs of Mongolia, or an oviraptor shielding its nest, but they miss the days, seasons, and lifetimes between. That's why Joaquinraptor feels alive. It bridges that gap for us. It lets time's hand reveal both the violence and tenderness of life long gone. In the end, fossils are not about death. They are about endurance, the stubborn way that stories refuse to fade, even after 90 million years.